What's up, guys? Jonathan here from Rotobreaks, and I'm here to explain to you some very high-level concepts about how group breaks work. Now, a lot of you out there have probably seen a few break videos. Perhaps you've been checking it out on YouTube or maybe even in a Facebook group, and you've seen breaks going on, and you have questions that maybe you haven't asked or you don't know what to ask because stuff can be a little bit confusing. So here to help you break it down in the easiest way that I know possible. So the way this works is what Rotobreaks does and other breakers out there do is what we do is we offer to you the opportunity to get cards that you'll like at a fraction of the cost of buying an entire case by yourself. So for a live group break or live case break, the most common that you'll see out there is going to be a full case break. So typically the breaker would offer a sealed case, looks a little bit something like this. It'll typically have inside of it anywhere from 4 to 20 boxes. This one happens to have 12. What we'll then do is we'll then take a look at the checklist, which is provided to us by the manufacturer of the cards, and then we will divide up the cost of the case and see what possible hits are available for each team, and we will price them out accordingly. A team with a lot of possible cards that we could hit is going to be priced high. A team without many possible cards that we could hit would be priced low. That's something that you should take into account when you're buying into a group break. The higher priced teams typically have the most potential. They're typically going to have the highest value possible hits. And therefore they're going to be priced higher than a team without a lot of hits or perhaps without a lot of desirable rookie or star cards that we could hit within the break. So keep that in mind. If you're buying expensive teams, there's high potential, but with that, of course, comes high risk. When you're buying a lower priced team, there's going to be lower potential, but then, of course, also lower risk. So pretty basic there, but some people don't understand how pick your team pricing works, and hopefully that will help you. Now, some people, don't necessarily want to spend the big money to get the big teams, but they still like the potential to hit them. Enter random breaks. Now, the way that a random break would work would be that every team is priced the same. Sometimes if there's teams that really don't have much potential at all, they'll combine them up with other teams. But in that case, every team costs the same, but you don't know what team you're buying. You do know that you're getting a team in the break, but you're not sure who. It could be the Yankees. It could be the Marlins. You're not really sure. They're all going to be priced the same. Once the break is full, the breaker would then randomize the list, and you will receive all the cards for whatever team that you've received in the randomization. Now, typically that's done before the break. I have seen it where it's done afterwards. I usually do it before, but, to each their own. So, if the break is, 30 teams at $50 per, the Yankees cost $50, the Pirates cost $50. I don't know who I'm going to get, but it gives you an opportunity to hit that higher potential team, but then it also does give you the potential to hit the lower potential team. So it's a bit of a gamble there, as all breaks are, but that's how a random team break works. Another type of break that's been gaining popularity lately is what's known as a hit draft. Now, a hit draft is typically used on a product like Flawless, for instance, or Topps Dynasty, which is due to come out next month, where there are only 5 to 10 cards that come out of the whole product. Now, in a product where you're only getting 5 cards in the entire case, obviously it's difficult to sell 30 teams in that situation because you're going to have at minimum 25 people who are unhappy with the results of the break because there aren't enough cards to please everybody. So we offer you what's called a hit draft, which basically would divide the cost of the break by the number of cards that are going to come out. In that case, the list is randomized, and then you will be able to pick your card in order. So it doesn't matter what team comes out of the product. you could still get a card, or you will still get a card, should I say, no matter what happens. So you could get an Aaron Judge, a Nolan Ryan, an Alex Rodriguez, a Shohei Ohtani, and a Bryce Harper. They randomize the list, and the person on top will get the opportunity to pick whichever of those 5 cards they want. The second place person would then be able to pick from what's left, and so on and so forth. So that's a hit draft. A spin-off to a hit draft, and similar to a random team, but still where you'd have a guaranteed hit, is what's known as a random hit break. Now in that case, instead of randomizing a draft order, they would actually randomize the cards that came out. So in our Topps Dynasty example, we would then make a list of Aaron Judge, Alex Rodriguez, so on and so forth. We would randomize the list. Whoever bought spot 1 would get the card that lands in spot 1. It could be the best card, it could be the worst card, it could be a middle of the road card. It doesn't really matter. It would just be up to the powers that be at random.org. So that does a hit. That's a hit. There are lots of people who do breaks out there. There are lots of breakers, and they are popping up every single day. Myself, I popped up a couple years ago. I've been doing it for a little while now, so I'm still relatively new on the scene, and we're trying to grow. But we have a nice customer base of about just under 3,000 people, so I don't think all of them are wrong. But when you're out there looking for a breaker, you have a lot of choices. You know, make sure that you find someone that you're comfortable with. Make sure that you find someone who interacts well with you. Make sure that you find someone who is willing to answer questions. Make sure someone ships your cards securely. Make sure your cards doesn't get damaged. You know, shop around. There's a lot of options. Of course, I recommend Rotobreaks, but that doesn't mean I'm the only game in town, and there are lots of people who can help you out. But if you're interested to check out what we do, there's a link in the description that will lead you to the Rotobreaks Facebook group, which is where the majority of my breaks are posted. I also have a website, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. I will tell you about that in the next video. So hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, click the link and join my group, Rotobreaks, or just search for it on Facebook. My name's Jonathan. I'm always there for you. My wife will tell you maybe a little bit too much, but I hope this helped, and everybody out there have a great day, and we will talk to you real soon. Thanks.